Hey people, it is Monday, the 6th of October. It is 5:30 p.m. and about 28 Celsius, feeling more like 31 with the humidex. That's right, the hot summer weather refuses to give it up this year. Kind of making our way into fall. And just as the weather warmed up again, I somehow got myself a cold, so sorry if my voice sounds a little bit not quite up to par. But I'm on Jarvis Street, just north of Dundas. And I'm actually making my way to the newly reopened Popeye supplement store on Yonge Street, up near Isabella, where Yonge and Isabella meet. There's a new Popeye store that was there before, but there was a fire a couple years back and the store was shut down for renovation, and it was only just recently that it finally reopened again. So I thought I'd head up there to pick up a couple of items. There is another Popeye supplements on Yonge Street near Adelaide that I go to as well. That one is closer to me actually than the one I'm heading to, but I just thought I'd head to this one since it's reopened after being closed for so long. We got Monday rush hour traffic here on Jarvis Street. And there are some interesting old buildings along Jarvis Street. Especially once we get a bit further north. The nicest parts of Jarvis I find are the most southerly part of Jarvis and the most northerly part. And the part in between is not so nice. Ontario Court of Justice here. Kind of a strange place to find a building like this. I like how it has all those miniature windows instead of just your usual sized windows oriented in a more typical fashion. So at this time of day, Jarvis Street is very, very busy. I think the middle lane is open to northbound traffic at this time. There's 5 lanes. The middle lane switches directions depending on the time of day. So in the morning rush hour, the middle lane would be southbound. And even though I'm not feeling so hot right now, I decided to come out and get these items today instead of tomorrow, since tomorrow is supposed to be a rainy day. So I thought, let's just go and do it now. But I'll be heading back home right afterwards. And the sun is blazing looking to the west across Jarvis Street. Just walked past Hooker Harvey's there. It looks like they took the sign down. What is up with that? The Harvey sign has been removed from that side of the building. I think it was acting up. I noticed all the letters weren't lighting up anymore. Maybe it's being replaced. That's sort of an infamous landmark in the neighborhood. It's really just a regular Harvey's restaurant these days, but back in the day there was a reason why they called it Hooker Harvey's. You can probably figure that out. Doesn't really apply anymore, but the name lives on. Here's Allen Gardens. Looks like some of the leaves are starting to turn color now, and we do have quite a few on the ground here also. It was a pretty dry summer, so I think the normal cycle of things has been altered a bit this year. It was also a very hot summer. And so far, a pretty hot fall, now that you mention it. I think it'll take us up to Charles Street. And we'll head west on Charles once we get there. Carlton, 506 Carlton streetcar. I like these old townhouses. I always admire them every time I walk past here.
Yeah, lots of people like that have problems there. Yeah, no, I know.
And I think yesterday was the worst day of symptoms with this cold. Today's a bit better, but still have a few days, I think, before it passes. There's the ballet school. Sometimes you can see ballerinas practicing in the windows on that building. With railings right up against the windows. Very nice complex, really. Quite prestigious as well. The Blake House. A lot of these old mansions on Jarvis Street have been converted into restaurants and pubs and various other things. The Holmes Institute in this case. This part of Jarvis Street was a bit of a millionaire's row, like going back way over 100 years ago. Another beautiful old one here. Crossing Maitland. And here's Jarvis Collegiate. And big old high school. Kind of an intimidating looking school in a good way. I like the big steps. And the traffic just continues. Crossing Wellesley. I wonder if I should cross here. Maybe I'll cross to the other side. I'll have to cross at some point. Might as well do it now.
You know the little picture of the tree gun anymore, but you don't. Yeah, I said, hey, are we there yet? I said, are we there? Remember that, right?
And there's the Keg Mansion, another one of those beautiful old homes from days gone by. Now it's a steakhouse, reported to be haunted as well, if you believe in such things. This one was just called the Jarvis Mansion. Guess they couldn't come up with any other more creative name. It's an event center now. A few more blocks until we get to Charles Street. Here's the gaudy looking Rogers head office. I think even the biggest fan of Rogers would have to admit that that building is not easy on the eyes. And just lots of old 1950s, 60s era apartment buildings along here as well. And some newer additions, much taller, newer additions. I think my friend who lived in this building just recently moved out into a house. Guess I'm not going to be able to get any more awesome views. This Papa John's is fairly new. And here is Charles Street. Still going to walk west right into the sun, but there's a lot of tree cover here, so maybe we'll be all right. All the side streets in this part of the city are usually quite heavily treed. Not so much on the main streets. Seems like every year a new tower will get added to Charles Street in the next block or two. And there's always lots of traffic, I find, on Charles Street too. I think people use it as a shortcut. All right, we're at church. To the south, you can make out the Sky Tower all the way down at Queen's Quay. It's at the foot of Yonge Street. And it looks like they're finally completing the curb and sidewalks here in front of the new development. Getting things back to normal for pedestrians after several years of detours and that sort of thing. Scaffolding and hoarding and all that, everything that comes along with construction, basically. And there's no trees to block the sun right here. Have to wait till it goes behind a building, which I think it's about to do. There we go. When you're downtown, if there are no trees around to block the sun, there's sure to be a tall building that will do it. Speaking of tall buildings, there's One Bloor West. For the time being, it's still taller than Sky Tower, but Sky Tower will overtake it soon. I think One Bloor West here has a better design though than Sky Tower. Sky Tower is not bad looking really, but you can tell that One Bloor West is a notch above in terms of quality and materials. One more look. Just can't help myself, I guess. And we're at Yonge. Has this shawarma place opened up yet? This was a Payless shoe store for a long time, and then it sat empty for years. I think they are open now. How about that? Took a while, but it's nice to see. I always like to keep track of new restaurants, especially things like falafels and burritos, things that I tend to enjoy. All right, now south down Yonge, I think the new Popeyes is just right up ahead, actually. Not to be confused with Popeye's chicken restaurants, although they can be right beside one another sometimes. But here we go, Popeye supplements. So I'm going to head inside and grab an item or two. But once I'm back out, I'll wrap up the video. So I'll just pause it for now and I'll be back in a flash. All right. I found what I was looking for. So I actually have to make one more stop before I head home. At the Shoppers Drug Mart down at Yonge and Carlton. And look, here's that other Popeyes. Make sure you go to the right Popeyes, depending on what you're looking for. But I'm going to start to wrap up the video. I hope you enjoyed my journey to the recently reopened Popeye supplements. I took a walk up Jarvis Street during the evening rush. And then walk along Charles Street to make my way over to Yonge Street. So I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you won't miss any of my videos. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store. Or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member, or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back, because as always, I will continue.